and they are launching another satellite into space that will assist scientists at looking at the sun and making their observations. Go ahead.
Tomorrow, the launch of Discover, the first operational space weather mission to be launched by NOAA into deep space. It's a very exciting time for all of us. Discover, when it launches, will take about 110 days to get to its observing point, which is kind of a unique place for us. As I said, it's the first deep space observer we have. It will be sitting at what's called the Lagrange point, which is a gravitationally stable point between the Earth and the Sun, about a million miles away from the Earth, directly in line with the Sun. From that position, it is staring at the Sun and taking in situ data of the measurements of the wind, the solar wind, and the coming from the Sun in real time, and transmitting that data directly to the Earth. Solar storms can have a potential to provide significant impact to the Earth and to the society. Major economic critical sectors could be affected by it, such as aviation, telecommunications, power grids, and global positioning systems could be affected by the significant solar storms.
But what they do not talk about is how we are affected on a conscious level, how the sun influences our behavior. But there are mainstream articles now that are emerging that are linking solar flares to strokes, in particular geomagnetic storms, connecting it to an increase in suicides. There's a 2008 New Scientist article. And what I discovered back in 2008, and I've been studying it ever since, is that the cycles of world wars seem to correlate with solar maximums. And one pattern that I've also discovered a couple years ago is that false flag events or staged events, things like 9/11, tend to happen around these solar peaks. And it's my belief that the dark occultic forces that are behind government, they understand human biology. They understand human physiology. And so certain events are staged at certain times, like we're seeing a lot of events staged right now, to trigger panic, to trigger fear, and to trigger a certain aggressive response in the population. So that's why you're seeing all this stuff right now, trying to sick the global population on the Islamic world, trying to get the Islamic world to retaliate. All the while, the black ops are funding both sides. ISIS is well known to be funded by Saudi Arabia and the United States, as well as Mossad via Israel, Mossad being Israel's intelligence agency, their CIA. And so all this is out in the open, and there's no doubt in my mind why we're seeing so much unrest within society at this particular point in time. So be aware, we're in solar maximum for another year. We've been in an extended solar maximum, I would say, since the 2010-2011 time period. And it is my suspicion that we're going to see the staged managed event known as World War III between China, Russia, and the United States, likely in about 10 years during the peak of the next solar cycle. So only time will tell if my estimation is correct.